to the pages.
Says you're streaming live.
Hi, you guys. We're back, I think. Just let me double check things. The hardware store did not have any cords that fit my phone, and their, supply chain interruptions, they really were low on stock, but everything seems to be working. I switched to a different USB port on my laptop, and let's just test it. See if it switches like it's supposed to. Yay! So I do want to kind of go through the whole introduction again, guys, because when we're done with this, I'll upload it to YouTube and it will be there. And I don't want to have to do any more editing than necessary, like splicing in the beginning of the last video into the new one. I don't want to do that. So our Monstera Bracelet kit, we launched this with our renewal collection, and it's been very popular. It's 8mm fire polish beads and some 0.5 millimeter nylon knotting cord, and our Monstera button, and some of our large hole spacers, I think, are in here, and then some seed beads for the button loop. And it's a pretty simple technique, and of course I've done some variations to show you guys, and let's get started.
Tracy, am I hearing a voice commentary in the background, a light? It's not me.
I don't hear anything on my end, but let me make sure there's nothing coming through somewhere else. There's nothing happening in my office. It's all quiet, just me. My other computer is muted. So hopefully the sound's okay for you guys. So let's switch the camera. Here we are. Yay! Yay. So let me turn, I need to turn one of the lights back on. So our Monstera Bracelet kit, and I made a few variations, of course. This is the original. So it's a kind of a fine cord, and it's knotted in between the spacers, and then the cord is, the beads are strung on the larger beads. The spacers are strung on both cords. The larger beads are strung on just one cord at a time, and then the second cord kind of wraps around the outside. And that's kind of what makes this design a little bit fun and unique. So that's the technique we're going to show. And I did play with some other variations. This one is just a heavier nylon cord. It's like, I guess, a 1 millimeter. I'm never quite up to speed as I should be on the different thicknesses of the C-lon and S-lon cords, but I think it's like roughly 0.5 and 1 millimeter. So this one is fun. It has just the heavier cord, and I really liked the way that looks. We made it, and the difference is because it was the heavier cord, I didn't make a button loop with seed beads. I just made the button loop out of the cord itself, which, simplifies the design a little bit. And I did make these two versions at the same time, but everybody decided we liked this one best, so that's the one we turned into the kit. And then let's see, this is a variation just using some gemstone, 8mm faceted gemstones and a little bit of a darker cord, and that was very fun as well. This one I just made yesterday, and I used there's a lot of cords you could use for this technique. I used, the main thing just being, make sure that whatever cord you're using is going to fit the whole size of your beads. And these beads here were just some kind of crackled quartz. I just love them. They're beautiful. This is a 1 millimeter waxed cotton cord, and it fit just right through the holes on that gemstone bead. And then of course these are our large hole spacers, so it was fine in there. And then again, because I went with the larger cord for this one, I just doubled the cord back to make my button loop. So you can see already there's 3 different variations for a button loop that we've done with this design. So it's, it's pretty versatile. This one, I just knotted the cords together far enough apart to create the buttonhole. and then the seed beads. And then this one I just doubled back, very simple, this one. Glue is important here. A little glue down at the buttonhole knot, super important for all of the designs. You don't want that button loop coming off or coming open. So that one is the 1 millimeter waxed cotton cord. And then this one was fun. There's a Toho has a beading cord called Amiette. It's kind of a lovely little spiral texture. It's a little bit stiff and it worked really well for this.
Does it come in lots of colors, Tracy?
It does come in lots of colors. I don't have that many of them, but
Ooh, those are beautiful.
yeah, it's made by Toho, the seed bead people. It's just a real nice stringing cord. So I put this one together using that cord, and it's quite a bit finer. It's more like the 5 millimeter that we used in the original versions. And it's a little bit stiffer, but I thought it worked really nicely with this design. So what I'm going to do, and hemp cord. You could use hemp cord for this. Of course, always making sure your beads are going to fit the whole sizes. And hemp cord comes in many colors and different weights, so you could get some different looks. And of course, we have the million colors of Ceylon cord and the heavier type of Ceylon cord. So you could have lots of fun with that, with choosing different cords and different beads. So the kit itself, of course, comes with your faceted fire polish 8 millimeter glass beads. Comes with a little length of cord in there. I think we put about 40 inches of cord. And of course, this is available as a kit and also as a downloadable inspiration on our website. So you can download those instructions and, play with the different cord types and the different bead sizes and create your variations with that. So we've got
Tracy, I just want to let you know that there is something going on, and I'm not sure. We're seeing the kitty on one of my screens. Oh, now you're back.
Okay.
So I don't know whether people are able to see it because I'm not sure which screen is showing you, but one of the screens I'm able to see everything you're doing. And one of my other screens that's the Facebook is coming in and out.
Really? Well, I need to be very careful.
Well, I'm not sure what people are seeing, but we don't have anybody live watching right now.
Oh, okay. The one I'm looking at says that we have like 27 people watching. Can anyone comment and see how things are going?
I wonder if I'm not on the most recent Facebook.
Now, maybe you're looking at the old one.
Maybe
back out of that one and go back to the TierraCast page again and make sure you're watching the right stream.
That better be what I'm doing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's got to be it. And that would explain why nobody's watching live, because that one's not live.
Let me look and see.
I should tell you guys that Julie has made remarkable, and now are we frozen? Oh no. Julie has made remarkable tech strides in the last year. She does all her sales meetings live on Zoom, or not live. Yes, live on Zoom now. So that the things that we have had to learn over the last year.
Well, I'm over here still trying to learn it.
Well, you'll get there, Julie. The point is you're here.
I'm sort of here. I'm actually not. I'm having trouble finding the live Facebook because I'm not seeing anybody on. So I'm going to keep fooling with that while you work.
Okay. Just back out and go back to the the TierraCast homepage, the Facebook page.
Okay.
And maybe refresh it so it brings up the new video.
That's what I think I'm going to have to do.
Yeah. So also in the kit, everyone, are some size 8 seed beads. That's for the button loop. And then they aren't our large hole spacers for the kit. It's just our normal size hole, which is a little over 1 millimeter. So this cord that's included fits in there just fine. If you wanted to play with other cord sizes, you would probably want to go towards our large hole beads. And if Julie ever finds our stream,
I got it.
She got it. She'll post that link for us. So the first step is I'm going to fold this length of cord in half because I'm going to attach it to the the button shank using a lark's head knot. So I fold it in half, going to thread my ends through, and then thread those ends through the loop of the fold, and then just pull that through. And then I'm going to tie an overhand knot right there next to the shank button. And my technique, there are tools for kind of doing this type of pearl, what they call pearl knotting or bead knotting. My technique is just to use a pair of sharp nose tweezers. And once I make my loop, I might have to start again because, oh no, I'm good. So once I make my loop, I thread my tweezers through the loop before I tighten it through the loop, grab the two cords right there where I want it to tighten. And then I pull those cords tight and keeping the tweezers where they are until it's kind of pulled down. And then I can take the tweezers and use them to slide that knot tight against the shank of the button. And an interesting thing about this kit also is that it doesn't require any tools besides some sharp nose tweezers and a pair of scissors. And something else I should have mentioned is depending on the cord you're using, and this is a nylon cord, maybe it's not quite so important to pre-stretch it, but with other cords, you may want to just pre-stretch those a little bit just to kind of reduce any kind of stretching out later after you've done your bracelet. Okay, so got my knot up here by my button shank, and now I'm going to take one of my spacers and thread. Well, first I'm going to trim those at a little bit of an angle just to make my threading easier. And I'm going to thread both of those through the hole of the bead. Whoops, lost it. And you can do a couple of things with the cord to make it thread a little easier. Cutting the ends at an angle, of course, is a good start, a nice sharp angle. And then if I was working with the cord that really frayed a lot, I might put some super glue on the ends and kind of stiffen the ends and then trim them to kind of turn it into its own little needle. All right, so you can see I added that first bead and I'm tying my second knot. So that's the first little series of knot, bead, and knot. This next thing is I'm going to start stringing on the fire polish beads. And so with these ones, I'm only going to thread the bead onto one of the cords. Because remember, the other one's going to wrap around the outside. And this is going to be a little bit of a slow and tedious process, Julie, so we'll have to keep up some chatter and talk about stuff.
I'm traumatized.
You're traumatized? We have had technical challenges lately, haven't we?
Well, I don't need the technical challenges to have trouble. So
yeah.
I'm just so impressed that you were able. Did you run down to the hardware store even, or no?
I did, and they had. Okay, so you guys, once you get the hang of this, the pattern, this is very easy. You're just stringing a bead and tying a knot, stringing a bead and tying a knot, and of course remembering the small spacers you're stringing onto both cords, and the large beads you're only stringing onto one.
Are you altering the cord that you string the bead on?
Yes, I'm going to point that out as soon as we get to the next fire polish bead. Julie, I did run down to the hardware store, and they are so picked over.
Oh.
And my Samsung is a few years older, and it doesn't have kind of that universal charging. And you're an iPhone user, so you have your own charging cord issues. But there's generally kind of a universal charging cord end. But my Samsung uses a different one because I don't know why, just because.
I have lots of cords everywhere around because I'm paranoid about not having a cord.
Oh, well, anyway. So, oh, hey, I made a mistake. Let me untie that. I was wondering why it didn't straighten out correctly. It's because one of the cords went on around the outside of the bead instead of through the hole. So I can just untie that. And there was another something I thought of and I was going to mention. What the heck was it? Oh, just that I'm really pulling my, oh, they did go through, both went through. One of them just got wrapped around the outside of the cord.
How many pairs of glasses are you wearing?
I'm only wearing one. I should probably stack them on so I can see what I'm doing. All right, putting the second pair of glasses on. I really need to get myself a nice pair of just a real high strength for when I'm doing this kind of stuff. But what I think I was saying was just you want to make sure your knots are nice and tight. Again, so that things don't get loose as you wear the bracelet. So what Julie was just saying was, am I alternating the cords? And I am, because I kind of want my, and it's optional, but I want my, the cord that wraps around the outside of the fire polish, I kind of want that to alternate as I go. So I just look where the cords are coming out, and the next cord I'm going to use is the same side as the one that just wrapped. And it's not an exact thing because they'll move and twist as you wear it, but it does two things. It kind of keeps the alternating thing going on, and it also makes sure that you have an equal amount of cord by the time you get to the end of the bracelet.
Lynn says, treat yourself to a strong pair of glasses.
I know, huh? Julie, how many viewers do we have?
32.
Yay. Did you share? We had, I think, just started to share some links before we had to stop.
One so far.
Yeah, the one to the project, and then we were talking about how we had so many of our projects lately have featured buttons.
Well, I just don't think you can get enough of our buttons.
I was just wondering if you shared that link again.
I'm doing it right now.
They're amazing. We have a lot of great buttons. I'll tell you what I might do, Julie, just so that because this will go faster as I move along, but I'm not sure we want to torture everybody with the whole process.
I stop now, Tracy. We've tortured them already.
Oh, we have not. I may put a
technical difficulty.
I may put a few more on and then kind of cut it short and then just show the button loop process, because they'll get the idea.
That looks great.
Yeah, it's not, once you get the hang of it, it's really very easy.
I love the way the natural cord looks with the sparkly crystals. So it kind of brings it down to earth a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Not so glitzy.
Well, and I love that fire polish Czech beads. Oh my gosh, the variety. They're just so many and so beautiful.
So Lynn was asking again how long we cut the Ceylon, and I answered 40 inches.
40 inches. Now that,
that's right. Yay.
People may want to adjust if they're working with a thicker cord. And this, when we get to the second demo here, I didn't even tell you guys yet. Let me just show you. What I want to do after the variation I want to demo is I have in mind doing an all metal demo with some 1.5 millimeter cords. So that's why I want to make sure this one doesn't take too long so we can get to that other one. But I was going to say, if you're using thicker cord, maybe give yourself even a little bit more length, because it just seems to take up a knot in a thicker cord, just really seems to take up a lot of it. And this design has a lot of knots. So when I come to the leather one, I think the piece I'm working with, or that I have on my desk, is 36 inches. And I'm actually starting, I'm second guessing that. I think I'll, oops, I got stuck on our button. I think I will cut a longer piece. And I'm glad we were able to come back to this today and not have to reschedule it with the technical stuff.
You're a smooth cucumber, Tracy. I am not.
So I think what I'll do here, guys, is we'll just imagine I'm going to string, oops, I just strung my last spacer. I think I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to make the button loop. We'll just pretend that it's as long as this one. So let's put it up here, a little closer to the camera. We'll just pretend. So I think we included probably like 25 seed beads. And as you guys know, seed beads can have a lot of variation in size and thicknesses. I mean, some brands are very consistent, but still the number you need, the number you need may vary for your button loop. So this one has 5, 10, 15, 16 beads. We'll see if that holds true for the one we're going to do right now. So we'll string 16 of these seed beads.
It feels like the color of seed bead that you pick is a great design element.
Yes, you can certainly kind of mix it or match it with your Czech glass bead or whatever else you're using.
Maybe contrasts or just it looks like a really fun design element in that bracelet to me.
Yeah. Maybe you're using gemstones, maybe you're using, but you could really play with the seed bead choice. I'm finding it easier to kind of string these through the seed bead holes one at a time. And this is also where, again, I could, if I wanted, stiffen the ends of these cords up a little bit with some super glue or some wax or something to make it easier to string. How many do I got? I have 5, 6. I hear keyboard clicky clacking. Julie, what are you looking for?
I'm saying hi to everybody that's coming back to watch.
Nice. Yeah, I don't remember if I said it on the video. After we finish our Facebook Lives, I load the video up to YouTube a couple days later. And then I put a link to the videos. So this applies, of course, to all the Facebook Lives we've been doing lately. I put a link to that video, that demo video, in the inspiration page on the website. So, that just gives people multiple ways to access those videos. They can search them out on our YouTube channel, or they can find them right on the inspiration pages of the website. And I really love that we're able to do that, Julie. I'm just kind of looking forward to continuing to do these videos and having them there for people.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
So Geet is saying, send our parts to Denmark. And I'm thinking, don't we have somebody in Denmark? I'm gonna have to look.
Geet's going to open a store, right, Geet?
That would be awesome.
No, she was asking me recently. She asked if we had a distributor in Denmark, and I said I do not know. But she said
not a distributor. We have Starman in Europe and Czech Republic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only distributor, and Miyuki in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Over out of the country, really. Yeah.
So she's right. We probably need more people.
We might have some stores though. I feel like, we do, but I'll have to look into that and get back to her.
How many? Where am I? 5, 10, 15. I think at least maybe one more will do it. I suppose, for our people who want to buy TierCast and they're over in Europe, I guess they can order them from here, but gosh, the way the mail is lately.
A lot of people do. We send a lot of product.
I think this will be big enough.
The mail is sorting itself out a little bit
10, 15,
better.
16. So I got 16 on there, and that's big enough. So now this button tying process is a little fidgety and a little tricky, because what I want to do is aim to have it secured behind this knot so that it's not my tongue's getting caught on the word knot, so that the knot doesn't slide. So I'm really going to try and get it tied, secured to that previous button. So I have to wrap it around and bring it around again and thread it through that loop. Then I think what I want to do is kind of come in here and grab it with my tweezers. Hey, what happened?
You need those extra glasses.
I've got them on.
Oh, well then I don't know.
That was just a fail. It was just a fail. It went around the button loop itself and kind of just fell off. But it's always good to do the little fidgety, fussy stuff so people can see it. And all right, so trying again, want to get in here and grab everything right under that other knot. Whoops, and I also want to make sure that I don't end up with a bunch of slack there in the cord. And then tighten that down. And really tighten that securely. And then glue. I've been using, when I'm working with cord, there's a fabric glue that I like to use. And I know that Hypo-Cement also makes a fabric glue, and I thought I had some of that laying around and haven't been able to find it. And you could probably also use regular Hypo-Cement and even super glue. But the point is you really just want to get some glue on there.
Well, Geet is very correct. I've done some searching and we are not very represented in Denmark.
Oh, I wish someone would fix that.
We do have a web store, but they haven't ordered that much. So.
Oh, well, let Geet know who they are, and then she can start requesting.
I think I'll put a link and. She can go
and
get
then
them.
if she's asking for product, then, you know, maybe they'll
convenient.
increase their ordering. All right, so got my knot tied. I've got my glue applied, and in a perfect world, I would wait for this to dry before I trimmed it. But because I want to demonstrate it, I'll just go ahead and trim it now. And then there we go. That's kind of cute. That would make a very cute ring for someone with large hands.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Uh-oh. So that is the knotted Monstera bracelet kit, not to be confused with our Monstera Trio kit. We named them similarly. So we demoed a couple weeks ago our leather cord Monstera bracelet kit that super popular also. And then I want to clear some of this stuff away, or maybe I'll just stack it right on top. So we can try this with some leather cord and some of our large hole buttons. So what I'm also wanting to use is a 2-hole button instead of a shank. That won't make that much difference to the construction, but I wanted to use a 2-hole instead. And I've got some of our large hole. Are these ones the Casbah, Julie?
It's looking like the Casbah to me.
Let me just make sure I got the right name. Whoops, Oasis. That's
what I meant. Oasis.
This is our 10 millimeter Oasis bracelet. And I told you guys I had a piece of 36-inch cord, but I'm second guessing length, and I'm gonna get my cord and cut a longer piece. Because those knots, they just take up space, and I don't want to run short. So let's see, where's our end? I have a nice fresh spool of 1.5 millimeter round. And I want 40 inches, I think.
Faye is asking, how do you know the length of the bracelet you need to make to fit your wrist, but still be able to slip it on over your hand?
Well, this is a button that you're going to, this is a bracelet that you're going to clasp. So it doesn't need to be big enough to go over your hand. But generally when you're fitting, you want to find out if something's you'll be able to put something over your hand, is you want to kind of tuck your hand around like this and measure it right here, like around the knuckles. And that, if you measure that circumference, then that's how big you want to make your bracelet.
Oh, and she must have thought it didn't open.
Oh yeah, it opens. Oh, and you know what I should have pointed out, Julie?
What?
Is, so when I made this original, I think it's about 7.5 inches. So it uses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It uses 11 of the fire polish beads, and one fire polish bead and one spacer, and all the knots equals about 1/2 inch. And we included extra beads in the kit so people can actually, make a longer bracelet if they need to. So if someone was to add another fire polish bead and another spacer, it would add another 1/2 inch and make about an 8-inch bracelet. And I think we may have included that info on the inside. Yes.
I think that's why our bracelets are so popular, or kits, because people can just make them to fit.
So that's important info. Yeah. And also know that how tight you make your knots is also going to affect your overall length. So if you work a little looser, you need to just be thinking about that.
Yeah, Geet says you can make some earrings with the extra beads if you want.
You sure can. Little matchy earrings. She's going to get me distracted.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
So when you made that 8-inch bracelet, how many beads did you have on it to make an 8-inch?
So the original bracelet and the instructions are written for a 7.5-inch bracelet, and it took 11 fire polish and like 12 of the spacer beads.
Okay,
so maybe
yeah,
13.
That's right.
Spontaneous earring making. Who suggested that? Was that Geet?
Uh-huh.
I'm very impulsive here, but let's just see.
You are not hard to distract, Tracy.
I know, but she's right, because you're going to have extra little components in the kit. It'd be super easy to just whip up a little.
Yeah, Lynn's saying she usually makes her bracelets about a 1/2 inch longer, and I'm with her. I don't like them tight. They feel like they're strangling my wrist.
Uh-huh. Well, and we did, kind of do that on purpose. We make sure there's enough beads in a kit so that people can adjust it for their needs, whatever their size is.
Drop one and it goes flying across the floor.
Yes, and that happens too.
That's harassing you while you're beading, which often.
Oh, no. Okay, so I got a little earring whipped up, but I don't know if I should use the dark niobium ear wire or the rose gold.
Dark.
Well,
I go niobium whenever possible.
People will use whatever they have because there won't be ear wires in the kit, so they'll have to. Fun! Thanks for that suggestion, Geet. a little cute pair of earrings to go. All right, so back to the leather version, and I cut that cord, and now I don't know where it went because earrings.
Look on the floor.
I did. Where did it go? That's okay. I got the spool right here. I'll find that other piece eventually. All right, 40 inches. And so, of course, with this one, not a lark's head knot, but I'm just going to thread the ends through the holes in the button and then secure it underneath with a knot. And this will be interesting to see, Julie, if the 40 inches is enough for this.
Oh,
and
please.
Also, this is with leather cord, pre-stretching is a very good idea. And there's no fancy technique for that. You just pull on it. And I'm also going to be pulling on it quite a bit as I knot it, so.
So are those beads the same size as the Czech glass beads were?
They're a little bit, I was thinking that they were a little bit narrower, but maybe they might be just about the same.
They look a little bigger.
And I won't use as many of them because, well, they're definitely bigger around, but when you turn them on their side, I think they might be pretty close.
Break out your calipers. Show us your measuring chops.
My measuring tools. Julie wants precise measurements.
Let's distract her some more.
7.6 and 8.15. So the fire polish is a little bit wider.
Wow.
Yeah. Unexpected, huh?
It is.
All right. So with this one, I'm not going to use spacers. I'm just going to, because I want to keep the beads closer together. I was imagining how this was going to come out and thought if I put spacers in here, with the size of the knots, it would really spread the beads out. And I
You didn't do
decided
a
I would
test?
rather, what's that?
You did not do a test before
I did like 3 or 4 beads
Okay.
on a little piece of scrap leather just to see what the idea was going to look like.
Are you one of those people that will make a brand new recipe when you have for guests without trying it first?
No.
Okay.
No. No. Don't. If I have to feed somebody food, no, I'm a little more careful than that.
Lynn says your personality is, oh, look, shiny.
Yeah. Sometimes. But come on, we're jewelry makers. Isn't everybody's personality like that?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. So yeah, just knotting and tying, and then alternating the cords that I string the beads on. And the button loop for this one is just going to be easier too, because it's just going to be knots spaced apart, wide enough for the button to fit through. So again, when you're having to decide which, I don't really need to use the tweezers for this big cord, but you know, it's helpful. When you're deciding which cord to alternate on, oh look, and see that one just twisted. I want to string onto the cord that's the same size as the one that, or the one that's wrapped around the previous bead, or on that side rather. It's not necessarily the same cord, but I hope I'm making sense.
Kind of.
Kind of. And again, want to pull my knots very tightly. It's looking good. I like it.
I always like leather.
Yeah, well, I wanted to see with how this was going to go with just metal beads and the leather. I was interested in that all leather look, or all metal rather, all metal look. I can tell you this works up a heck of a lot quicker than the fine cord and the tiny beads.
Are you going to have enough leather?
I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, you just keep us just on
it's the suspense.
Seats.
People like the suspense.
Well, we sure give it to them.
Yeah. Maybe we'll be able to do this today. Maybe we won't. Let's see if the tech gods are kind.
Everybody's got to show up next week to see what befalls us.
Yeah, no kidding. It'd be like little cliffhangers every week. I don't know what we're doing next week. I don't have a plan yet. And again, I wear about a 7.5-inch bracelet when I want them loose-ish. I have to put a couple more on. I'm hopeful that there'll be enough left over for the button loop.
You might have to use your tweezers to get that.
To get that last knot done.
Marilyn really likes this bracelet.
Hey, it's coming together fun, huh?
Make it fast, which is always a plus in my opinion. And you said that was 1.5 millimeter leather.
This is 1.5, yep. Yeah, and it's a true 1.5. It's definitely, you know how there can be definite variation in leather cord too. So a 1.5, sometimes it's more like a 1.3 or you know,
2 mil.
Well, usually it's not that bad, but this, yep, we're going to need if someone wants to make this one, they need to start with more leather. Like I would start with like 48 inches maybe, and even longer if you want a long bracelet. If I knot this here, that'll be a 7-inch bracelet.
Do it.
Yeah, which is okay for me, but I have small wrists. So
there's a lot of people out there with tiny wrists.
Yeah. So I would say if someone starts this with the 1.5 millimeter leather and these type of beads, what did I cut? I cut 40. That makes a just barely 7-inch bracelet. And remember, when also something that is always good to keep in mind is the heavier your beads are, the wider your the circumference of your materials end up being, the smaller the inside diameter of your bracelet. So this might be a 7-inch bracelet, but because these beads are kind of big, it's going to be tight on me. So that's something good to remember when you're making bracelets for people. The thickness of the materials is going to affect the size of the bracelet. So maybe, Julie, what I'll do is I will take a picture of this and throw it up on that inspiration page as an option. Mm-hmm. And I'll include some of that info about how the lengths of cord you should cut for one of these ones.
It just looked like you maybe could get a little extra length by pulling on it there.
It's true. It could stretch out a little bit too.
Cool.
Yeah. Fun. I like the way this one came out. I thought that would be a fun variation to try.
Alice says it's a nice design for a man, and I agree with that.
Could be, yeah. I like the way it looks. And of course, different colored leather, brown and, oh, you know what would be fun, Julie? Is do this with the skull bead, the large hole skull bead.
Yeah, that'd look really good, especially with the black leather.
Mm-hmm. So that's, I think, pretty much it for our knotted Monstera bracelet variations.
Very good.
Yeah, I'll change my camera back and see if it works.
Uh-oh.
Well, so far so good. It's been, I'm glad that the technology stuff came around and we were able to do this today instead of having to reschedule or something. So don't know yet what I'm going to do next week, but I will, I'll post that on Saturday. I'll figure it out. I don't know, whoever watches us regularly, I usually schedule the event posts to happen on Saturday morning. So that's when you can watch for that. Is there anything else exciting coming up, Julie?
Always something.
Always. I'm looking over, I'm peering across the room in the dark to the calendar that's on my wall. And I don't know if there's anything else happening this week. So just watch for our next event post. We'll do that on Saturday. And thanks, you guys. Thank you always for joining us. We enjoy spending time with jewelry making people. So, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, everybody.